Hello everyone! Today we are going to attempt to build the phonemes for the Shadowbroker. So, 3 disclaimers. The first disclaimer is I have not attempted this. What we do in this video will be my very first attempt at this, and I legitimately have no idea how this will go. The second disclaimer is that I am just recovering from an extremely nasty cold that's been knocking me flat on my ass for the past few days. I currently have an extremely sore throat, and that's probably why I don't exactly sound the same as I normally do. It's between the cold and the sore throat. And then the third, related to the cold, is that it is entirely possible I won't be able to do this video all in one go. So if there are any sudden cuts and such like that, that would be why. It's because I had to take a break and recover some energy and such before I got back to it. So with that being said, let's begin with building the Yahg's phonemes. So the Yahg is face posed. I have absolutely no idea how good his face posing is going to work in practice because of how alien, amazingly, his face is compared to humans. I had to really sort of estimate and make total guesses as to how these build specific flexes for him. And as a consequence of his face structure, he does not have the same range of flexes as my normal human models do, which means that we're going to need to do a bit of jury-rigging before we get to actually building his phonemes. So with that being said, you'll see that I have both this lovable cute fellow here and also Sarah. This is the public build of her, not the new build. Both loaded up, and the reason why they're both loaded is twofold. The first is that we're going to steal Sarah's phonemes because she has a full set of phonemes already built, and she was picked particularly because she is the one that I spent the most time refining the phonemes for, spending a total of maybe 3 or so hours carefully crafting her phonemes so that they match her facial structure and flexes perfectly, or as perfectly as I can get them. The second reason why she's here is I will be using her as a base for building the phonemes for the Yahg, where I will have her strike a phoneme, and then I will try to approximate it on the Yahg to save that phoneme. So I do need to warn that the proper clean way to build presets, which is what phonemes are, is not working for me in Source Filmmaker, so we will be taking a slightly longer and decidedly less convenient approach for it. For posterity's sake, there is this thread, which you can find by Googling Facepunch SFM presets, and it walks you through the proper and more convenient way to build presets. The particular issue I am suffering is right here, is the right-click create preset step. For some reason, the create preset is grayed out for me, and I can't do this process as a result of it. Hopefully, if you're building phonemes, you will have better luck than I did. So I highly recommend you look at this thread. Again, you just Google Facepunch SFM presets. Find this thread. It's very helpful. It's very concise. And it walks through all of the steps involved for getting it out of SFM and compiled properly into a model preset so that you can use phonemes at any time. So with that being said, let's begin. So we start by going over here and view her animation set. Go to preset groups, copy phoneme, and right click and show his animation set and paste it. So now he has her phonemes, but there is going to be an immediate problem with it. Namely, the fact that, let me see if I can find one. There we go. Her phonemes use the full, big, and small prefixes for the mouth shapes. So, for example, narrow, full, or narrow, small. The Yahg does not have those. And so I need to quickly go through all of these, remove the duplicates, so if a flex uses both narrow big and narrow small, remove one of them, for example, and then once every flex only has a maximum of one of those mouth shapes, go through and rename them so they only use the base form, e.g. just lips narrow and not lips narrow full. So we're going to start by just going down the line of phonemes and doing exactly that. Those are the only differences between his face posing and her face posing. So for example, it's like I have both of these. I'm just going to delete that. And then I'm going to come over here and just make that normal narrow. Let's see. Don't need that. Just make that normal narrow. Okay. I'm going to keep all these open so I can remember which ones I've already looked at. Delete. Make normal narrow. See, this is a very straightforward thing to do, as you can tell. It does not require much effort. It just takes a little bit of time. But if you're building phonemes and you have any idea what you're getting yourself into, then you've probably already dedicated yourselves at least 2 hours of time anyways, because building phonemes is just a very, very slow and methodical process. So this one has lip smile small, which is just now lip smile. Lip smile small again, which is smile. Narrow big, which is now just narrow. So now if we're extremely lucky, I won't have to do any modifications beyond adjusting these. Somehow all the flex values will be exactly right. We can call it a day at like 15 minutes into the video, and we won't have to do any more work than just going through these phonemes and changing the flex names. I don't think we're going to get that lucky because of just how different his face is, but I like to be optimistic, and we can certainly hope that we get to that point. So, just going through all the phonemes, and if you're not familiar with the animation editor, which is what I'm using right here, or rather, I don't know what I just did. Shit. I'm going to Control Z twice. Shit. Just going to check everything, make sure. Okay, it looks like they're all still good. Okay. Let's get back to doing this. If you haven't used the element viewer, which is what I've meant to use before this, I really like the way that the Valve developer wiki describes it, which is careful, here there be monsters. It is an extremely powerful tool. The entirety of how Source Filmmaker handles data under the hood is stored in the element viewer. If you are scripting for Source Filmmaker using Python, its implementation of Python, then how data is structured within the element viewer is an exact replica of how it is stored in Python, down to the individual parameter names and their storage. And so you can use the element viewer as a direct mirror of what kind of data structures you need to manipulate and how to get to them if you're scripting in Python. I use it a lot whenever I am building tools for Source Filmmaker, and it is overall just extremely powerful and allows you to do a few things that Source Filmmaker doesn't allow you to traditionally do. Of course, the risk being, since the element viewer has absolutely no restrictions on what you can or cannot do, it is extremely easy for you to fuck up one of your sessions irreversibly by using the element viewer. So save before you try it, and be prepared to lose a lot of your progress if you do end up using the element viewer, especially if you're new to it and aren't entirely familiar and comfortable with what values you should and shouldn't try to edit in it. I know this is well beyond the general scope of this video, but I just kind of want to keep talking as I finish this up to keep things at least informative, if not necessarily engaging, since just me talking isn't exactly the epitome of interactivity, but at the very least, I can be educational and share some insights into modding the Source Filmmaker and building scripts for it. So we are almost done recalibrating his phonemes that we stole from Samus/Sarah. So once that is done, the actual work can begin, and this is going to be one hell of a journey. So like I said, I have not attempted this before. This on video is my first attempt at building these phonemes, and I have absolutely no idea how well his flexes are going to hold up and how well my interpretation of the shapes is going to hold up. So you will be learning right alongside with me in that capacity. Okay, so that's that. Now, if I collapse this, would I automatically collapse all those? Beautiful. So, come back to the animation set editor. Let's just verify that they do something. Perfect. Okay, so let's see what we can do then. So the first phoneme. B. So it looks like that's just kind of the lips are squeezed together and pulled up. So let's do that. Do some jaw raise, jaw recede. I will say that is B. So what did I change? I added jaw raise and jaw recede. So what are those values? 0.23 and 0.32. 23 and 32. Raise and recede. So we're going to come over here. We're going to copy one of these and paste it. And we're going to name you jaw raise. And you are 0.23. Paste you one more time. And you are jaw recede. And you are 32 across the board. Okay. So now if I zero this out and I use the B, there we go. Perfect. So now, the M phoneme just has the lips pursed together and fold in. So let's just do that. So jaw raise. Honestly, I think just that by itself is good. So that is a jaw raise. We'll just say 0.5. So now we come down here and we paste. And we rename you jaw raise and give you a value of 0.5 across the board. We come over here and zero you out. And then we apply your M phoneme. There we go. So now P. So the P phoneme has the lips pursed together and the mouth narrow and the lips come together and curl in a little bit. So let's do the same for him. Jaw raise and a lot more lip narrow. Something like that. And let's see if we can get some more curl. Okay, so first we'll do the phoneme the flex that we added, which is jaw raise of 0.34. So we paste this, and we name you jaw raise 0.34, 0.34, 0.34, lips narrow. Interesting. They didn't seem to actually save that. Threw that over there. Okay, Oh, I know why. It's because I didn't have everything selected, because some of him is also in unknown. That's why I didn't do that. So let's try that again. So p. Yeah, I'll say that's pretty good. So w. Let's see what w looks like on her. W. So it looks like the lips are narrowed, curled out, and slightly opened. I'll actually say his w is pretty good. How about f? Let's try f. So we got the top lip is raised and curled in, and the bottom's curled in underneath the teeth. That's going to be an interesting flex for him. So let's kind of go like that, and then give him that jaw raise with a little bit of jaw recede, I think. We'll do something like that. I think that will actually look pretty good. So that is a value of 0.5 and 0.42. So paste. You will be jaw raise 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and a jaw recede of 0.42 across the board. And so now we're just going to go back over here. And now if we apply f to him, yeah, I'd say that's actually looking pretty good. Okay, cool. So how far are we? We are 17 minutes into the video, and we are probably about a tenth of the way done with this Phonemes. This will probably end up taking about an hour, which is kind of to be expected. Though there will be some shortcuts, as you will see with the very next phoneme. That was the F phoneme. Now if we look at the V phoneme, we see it is actually the exact same. So what we can do is we can then just come here to the V phoneme, delete these values, and then select these values, copy, and paste them. So now we can come over to him, and we can use the V phoneme, and it works. Don't have to do any actual work to get it to work. That was an exceptionally repetitive and redundant statement, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. So as we build more phonemes, there will be more and more instances where we can just copy previous phonemes over. Like, for example, these three R's are all identical shapes. I don't know why there's three of them. That was in Team Fortress 2 models, which is what I derived my phoneme setup from. So I recreated them. So the has the lips narrow and also come up. So let's see what his does. Let's select all of him. So let's have his lips narrow more. Something more like that. So that is 0.61 on the lips narrow for R. 0.61. And I think actually other than that, the rest of it's pretty good. Since he doesn't have any teeth underneath lips to expose, I can kind of only really approximate it, but I'm thinking that probably looks about right. So then I'm going to just copy that, since it's the only value we changed. Delete and paste. Delete and paste. Okay. So now we're going to come back over here, zero these out, and zero her out, and continue on. So that was the R's. Now, has the lips narrow slightly, the lips raise slightly, or part slightly, and the lips narrow slightly. Let's see what his does. His is actually pretty good. So his too is also pretty good then. So how about dih? The the DH phoneme, one that I honestly don't really know the instance it would ever be used. I don't know what DH, what sound that makes, but I create it anyways. So it does not have the lip size move, and it's just the lips part slightly. So let's see what it does for him. That is actually looking pretty good. How about TH? I believe it is the same as DH. No, TH and SH are the same. Ooh, no, they're not. They're not the same. So TH does not have the lips shape widen, and it's just the lips themselves raise, but the teeth are pressed together for that th sound. So let's do that. And then we raise his jaw, so he kind of bears his teeth together for that th sound. So what did I do? I did 0.51 on jaw raise for th. So paste. Jaw raise 0.51, 0.51, and 0.51. Okay. So now I'll just come over here. Whoops. Zero all of this. Come down here, and she's already zeroed. So that was. Let's verify that that works. Yeah, that should work. So now let's compare and sh. So that's th. And sure is the same thing, but the lips come in and there's a bit of depressor action for sh. So let's do that. So we'll come over here and base apply his sh. And then we will come and raise his jaw. And since she would be using the lip corners, we'll instead use lip depressor. And I think we will also recede his jaw slightly. So the raise is 6.7, the recede is 1.8, and the depressor is 3.1. So I'm not going to do all three of those at once. My memory's not that great. So 6.7 and 1.8 for those two. 6.7 and 1.8. So you are jaw raise 6.7, 6.7, 6.7, and jaw recede, which is 1.8. And I will verify that. Oops. Let's keep all the values the same, please. So, see, jaw recede is, 0.18. And then lips depressor is 3.1. So, paste. Lips depressor is 3.1. And then if we come over here, zero this out, now we can try, there's th, and here is sh. So his jaw needs to come up more. See, I thought I made you 6.1. Yeah. Oh, because there's two jaw raises. Oops. I would just get rid of that one. I didn't realize it was already there. And then if we apply it one more time. Yeah, there we go. There's sh, and there's th. So now if I remember correctly, sh and sh are the same shapes on Samus. So sh and j are, as is ch. So I can just take sh, just take all its values, gut the j, and gut the ch, and replace them. And then we can come back to Samus and see what the phoneme looks like. And that is just the lips pulled like that with the teeth together. Okay, so let's do the same to him. So, and then we will just have his jaw raise even more than it already is. And we will also have his lips smile, kind of get that wide feel of the lips, and then also narrow his lips to kind of counter that motion. So that's his S. So what all did I do there? I did smile of 0.6, narrow of 0.22, and then changed jaw raise to 0.78. So let's do that first, and this time I remember that there is already a jaw raise. So change that to 7.8, I believe is what I said. Change these to the right values, please. Yep, 7.8. And then the narrow is 0.22, and smile is 0.6. So 2, and 6. So, whoops, I only want to copy one of these. Here we go. So this is lips narrow is 0.22, I believe. Let me double check. Yep, lips narrow is 2, and smile is 0.6. And we come over here, we name you lips smile. You are 0.6. So we are currently 27 minutes in, and we are about halfway done with the phoneme. So yeah, about an hour sounds about right. Okay, and we're going to select all of these, zero them again, and then around this point is we should start seeing a lot more duplication. So S and Z are the same phonemes, as is D and D2, and L2, and N is almost the same, but with more lip parting. But Z, D, D2, L, and L2 are all the same shape as S. So that's going to cut quite a bit of work out for us. So we're going to copy these and just apply them. So we get 6 phoneme shapes for the price of 1, which is incredibly useful because it makes this a lot faster than if every single one of them had to be done individually. And I do want to point out for posterity's sake that this idea of having these duplicate shapes is not my own. As I said, I derived these from Team Fortress 2 models. I based Samus's models off of the Scouts because of the similar face shape. The long face shape with sort of the noticeable jaw. And these are the same duplicates that the Scout had. So now if I remember correctly, N is the same, but just with wider lip parting. So I think what that will translate to is the jaw raise just not being quite so pronounced for him. So we will paste that in, and we will instead make this just 7.0, and we will see how that looks in practice. Let's take a look. So we select him, and we do L2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is what it's supposed to be. So there's L2, and then by comparison, there's N. I think I'm going to also reduce the depressor. So N. There's N. There's N. And then we come over here. Yeah, that's looking decent enough, I think. So ignore what I said. I was just kind of dithering on there. Oh, so there's T. T is the same as L, but with more of a smile. So let's do that. We will delete these values, and we will come over here, and we will make the smile larger. Otherwise, it's the same shape. So now we come over here, and so we check out L2, check out N, then we check out T. So these are very similar shapes, and on the Yahg face, the distinction is really lost, which actually works in our advantage. Because his face is so alien, and we don't immediately recognize how his face would be shaping these different phonemes, they don't necessarily have to have the correct details and shape, so long as the open consonants have the mouth open, and the closed consonants have the mouth closed. That's all that really matters. Basically, if his jaw opens and closes at the expected times, then that will be good enough for our purposes with him. So, moving on, we just did T. So there's T. So now we go to OW, which has the lips narrow and the jaw drop a fair bit. So let's see what his does. OW. So for his OW, I want the narrow to be stronger. So yeah, we'll do 0.4 on the nose, okay? So let's do that for his OW. Narrow, 0.4. There we go. So now if I select him and do OW, there we go. So now we're going to come back to Samus, and we're going to quickly see if there's any duplicates between these. So OW, O, UW, and U. Nope, there are no duplicates. That's okay. So now O is the same drop, but without the narrow. So let's see what his O does. I'd say that actually looks pretty good. How about her UW? So it has her lips almost completely sealed with a curl out on the top and bottom and a narrow. So now we'll just select him and see what his UW looks like. So we will raise his jaw. Have him almost parted. Do a much stronger curl out. Almost parted. And then a much stronger narrow. So we did a jaw raise of 4-4. We'll do that first. This is for UW. Whoops, I only need one of these. So this is jaw raise of 4-4. And then there is a narrow of 0.47. So we do this. Okay, I don't believe I changed any other of those. And I also changed bottom is 0.8 and the top is 0.9. So look, bottom curl out 0.8. and the top curl out is 0.9. So we'll do those. Okay. And then we will select all of these and 0 them again and see how his phoneme for UW works now. For ooh. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So now for U. You see how her UW compares to her U. So it's the same general shape, but the top lip is raised rather than lowered. So we are going to cheat that, and we are going to copy the UW values. And paste them into U. And then we're going to take that lip top lower and change it to lip top raise. And then we'll see how it looks. So now we've got W, O, U, and now U. I actually think that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so now moving on to the other shapes. We have A, E, A. So A, E, and A are the same sound. Ah and ah 2 are the same sound, or the same shape as is A. So let's do A and AE first. So A is a fairly normal open with a significant amount of smile in it. So let's see what his A does. His A needs significantly more smile in it. Hey, that's just 1.0 smile. That's actually really straightforward. So A, paste. Oop, only want one of these. So lips smile with a value of 1. And then we're going to copy this and apply it to AE, which is the same shape. So now we're going to select all of this. Apply 0, and let's see what his A looks like now. A. And now his AE looks the same. So now let's do E. That might actually have the same shape as an existing phoneme. Not really. It looks like it would be T if the lips were lowered. So let's do that. Let's grab his T values, put them into his E, and change that lips smile to lips depressor, and let's third the values and see how that makes his E look. So we come over here. Yeah, that's looking pretty similar to her E. Okay, so now how about the ah? So is basically just a jaw drop with lip parting. That's all pretty straightforward. Okay, let's see what his looks like. Yeah, actually his is fine as it is. So that's to an A. How about I, Y? So I, Y is the same as E, but with the lip corners raised and the top lip raised even more. So we will come over here. We will grab his E values for I, Y. paste them. Well, actually, I'm going to get rid of these curls because she does not have any curls on these. So we're going to get rid of these. We're going to change this to a lips smile. And I'm going to increase this. And we'll see what those look like now. So we come over here and select him. So we changed his E. Yeah, I think that looks better. And now his I. Yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. So now how about her actual eye? So her eye is actually looking... So I compared to A, it looks like it's the same shape. Okay. So A, we copy these. We are currently 40 minutes in. We are actually getting pretty close to done now. So we just do that. So how about her Y shape? See, that looks familiar. But I might be mistaken. It is similar in shape to CH, but with no lip depressor. So let's do that. So we'll come up here to CH. We'll copy these values. We will come down here to his Y phoneme. Paste these. We will get rid of the curls because they weren't there before. That flex doesn't mean anything, but they can stay there. And then we will just get rid of the depressor, I think. And oh, I need to change that. So where did that come from? That came from CH. Let's make all these values the same. There we go. And how about DH? Okay, there we go. So let's just take a look at those now. So make sure these are correct. Since I accidentally had a typo in their values. Okay. And then his Y. Okay. Sorry about that. All this talking is not doing well for my throat, but I'll try and make it through to the bitter end. Okay, so we had just done the I, or the Y phoneme. So now the J, that looks familiar. Is that the same as... Oh, come on, I could have swore we'd done a phoneme like that. Here we go. Ch. Let's compare ch to j. Yeah, that's the same phoneme. So we will grab ch, which we've actually just changed. We will take ch, and we will bring them down here to j, which does have the curls, so they will stay. Okay, it's the same phoneme. So now how about AO? So AO is a jaw drop with lip narrow and no lip parting. So we'll come over here and to see how his AO looks. His AO looks pretty good. Just need to increase the narrow. Do that. So 0.75 on the narrow. So let's do that for him. So lips narrow is 7.5. Here we go. So here next phoneme. So ax is the same as AO, but with a widen rather than a narrow and far less extreme. And then AO is this, or ah is the same, but without any lip shape whatsoever. And is the same, but with a slight smile. So X is the same, but with a slight widen. Is the same, but with no shape change. And is the same, but with a slight smile. So we will see how those shapes all look on him. So we'll start over here with AO, and then X, and R, and then and X2 is going to very obviously be the same as X. Actually, it's already looking pretty good, so I'm just going to leave X alone. So how about So that is looking familiar. It's almost the same as Actually, I could take it off E and give it a slight smile. Let's do that. So we'll come over to E. And we'll come over to And we'll change U to lip smile. And actually, we'll keep the values the same. And then we'll do the same for too. Here we go. So then we come up over to U. Two. So how about So I think and share the same shape. Okay. G. So G is the same as but with a depressor. Is the exact same as ah. So we'll come up here to and stick them into And G, I believe I said it's the same as Let me double check that real quick. So G and yeah, same as but with a depressor. So we will come over here to the G phoneme, which is probably more of a G rather than a J. That's the J sound. We will make U depressor. And then we will take these and put them over here. So we will come over here and we will test these out. So we got J. Okay, so now how about the H's? So now that they're the same, but HH is just twice as powerful as H. So that has a lot of jaw recede in it and some lip part. Let's see what his H looks like. His H actually looks pretty good. This is his HH. Okay, cool. How about the C sound? That is the same as HH, but with it halved, or rather the same as his H, but halved. Okay. How about the K sound? Is the same as the Z sound. And X is the same. So let's see what ZH looks like on him then, because that's the only one remaining. We are currently at 50 minutes, and we are doing the last one. Okay, I think his phonemes are actually done. So, the next thing to do is come over here. I don't remember if I said it with this particular video, because I've recorded it a few times, and it's been 50 minutes now. But if you Google Facepunch SFM presets, you will find this thread explaining how to build presets, which is what we just did the long and hard way. And it has all of these steps involved that you need. So, we need to right-click the phoneme group and export it. So let's do that. So, we're going to show you in the element viewer again. We will export you. I'm going to slam you directly into the bin folder, which is where you're going to end up going anyways. So you are Yahg Phoneme, save. And then we're going to bring up that very useful tutorial again. And then we're going to come over here to the bin folder, right click, open command window here. What am I running? I am running DMX convert -I Yahg phoneme.dmx -o Yahg. How about Shadowbroker, which is actually a model, phoneme.pre output file type is a preset. And then if I come over here, okay, let's try this. Very interesting. Why is it not working? DMX convert -I Yahg phoneme DMX. Oh shit. -o. There we go. And we're going to cut that. And we're going to go to where his model is. We're going to paste this and rename it Shadowbroker Phoneme. And then we're going to save this, and we're going to restart SFM twice. The first time is to make sure that the phonemes load onto a newly spawned Yahg, and the second one to give a real quick test of how well they actually lip sync. So, let's do that. So here is the first restart of Source Filmmaker. This is to make sure that the phonemes load properly when he's spawned. Name that uniquely, just out of paranoia, because Source Filmmaker does not like when phonemes change. It's very fickle about it, so just out of paranoia, I'm going to name it something unique. We're probably going to have this video done in just over an hour, which I am perfectly okay with, because there is very little left to do at this point. And just put in Shadowbroker. Let the models load. Probably be around 34K models that Shadowbroker will be found. Oh, even better than that. Nice. 29K. Okay, he has phonemes. Let's just test them. We'll just do one that we know required a lot of change, like Beautiful. Okay, then we're just going to save this, throw it into test. And now we're going to restart Source Filmmaker again. Going to throw in one of the sound files that the Shadowbroker has in his post-credit scenes in Blue Star. Doesn't really matter which one, and we're just going to lip sync the first 3 or 4 words and see how they actually look in practice. So we're just going to load this up. Enable lighting. We're going to come up here. My phone just buzzed. I got a text. So 85 millimeter. And we'll just kind of go like this. We're just going to make this window big. And then we're going to come down here. Add clip to track. I can't remember what the files are named. We'll see if this comes up with anything. Otherwise, I'll just browse throughout all of my Blue Star voice clips. So this is going to take a while to load all of these, and of course if they're not named Shadowbroker, oh good, there are Shadowbrokers. So these are for the Femship short. Let's do we'll just do that. So then we'll come over here, and this isn't going to be super extensive. We're just going to select all of these. So it starts right here. So that's a T. So let's do it. T. Copy that. And this is an eh. So let's do an eh. And a tell. No, actually that's more of just an L. You know, it needs to be an eh. I need that mouth movement. So this will just be L. This is going to be his mm. So this is an E, a long E. So he just kind of drags it out. So this will be the Y. Or your. So this will be an O. This will be an And then we'll just grab all of these. So this is a th. Thaw. So this is an ah. Ah. And he again drags it out. So this is a t. And then this is this. We'll actually move this forward. Have that just kind of. Actually, this will actually be an ah. And this is an mm. Mm. Come on, where's an mm? Seriously, where's the fucking N? There it is. This is another th. So eh, eh. There's this. This is an eh. This is an So, we fucking lose the N. So he kind of holds on the N. And then this is the D. And then Ra. So this will be a and draw, and draw, So he kind of holds it for that long. Actually, he holds it about that long. And then we got an and drum. So then we got eh. Eh. And this is the D. And then He kind of holds it to there, and then it comes back to that. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm going to say that looks pretty good. For some more detail, let's give him a decided scowl. So eyebrow lower. I'm going to say I'm actually exceptionally happy with how that came out. We are currently at just over an hour and 3 minutes. I'm going to have it play back one more time just because I'm actually extremely happy. I'm very excited for this, actually. This was the last roadblock I really had before I can get into the deep and dirty of building Blue Star Episode 3's poses. Is because of the way Source Filmmaker handles phonemes. I couldn't actually build any final scenes with him until he had his phonemes built. And now that they are, I can focus on trying to get better, get over this fucking cold, and then I can idly work on finishing up the script. I only have to tie off the last scene after Liara's encounter with him, and I have a pretty strong idea of how that's going to go. And then I need to formalize the after credit scene. And then all of the writing will be done. I can send off scripts to Incognita and Ivan, and things can really get moving. So I'm hoping to have episode 3 done by the first or second weeks of March. One more time, just because I'm really giddy with watching this. Ah, God, one more time. God, I love that. I think this will work beautifully. His exaggerated and extreme mouth motions, I think, are going to serve very well to his powerful, intimidating stature, as opposed to Liara's relatively small and innocent stature. I think they will have a very beautiful contrast in their scene together, and I think these exaggerated lip motions as opposed to Liara's more demure lip motions, I think it will work absolute wonders in really emphasizing the power disconnect between them. I think is going to work beautifully. That's all I have for you. Until next time.